East Texas, West Texas, the coast, the hill country. Texas stretches for miles in every direction. But where to find its true essence? I mean, where are the stars truly big and bright? Where is the sage in bloom like perfume? And where do the coyotes wail upon the trail? Well, if you want to find the answer to that question, well, then you must start deep in the heart of Texas.
Brady! Okay, I know the sign doesn't say Brady, but trust me, this is Brady. At least I think it's Brady. Did we check the maps? This episode was made for y'all with the help of our awesome partners. Check the caption for more info.
Brady sits about 2 hours from Austin in the northwest reaches of the Texas Hill Country.
So welcome to Brady, Texas, the county seat of McCulloch County. Now, if you think of Texas as being alive, right? Like this living and breathing thing with its own heartbeat and soul, well, that begs the question, where's the heart? Well, my friends, that can be nowhere else but the heart of Texas.
The heart of Texas. Sounds like an abstract state of mind or something, right? Well, not in Brady. It's a real physical place. This place, in fact, as Brady is the closest town to the geographic center of our Lone Star State.
We've driven through Brady a couple of times.
Yes, we have. Always on the way to something.
On the
Just
way,
like
yeah.
fly straight through it. Well, folks, we're not just passing through today.
So what do we do in the heart of Texas?
Well, you got ventricles and you got arteries and aortas.
Right, and those are called locations.
Yeah, that's right. So our first ventricle of the day, which would be the major ventricle, will be the Geographic Center.
Yep, and it sits roughly 15 miles north of town on Highway 377. Truthfully, if you weren't looking for it, well, you'd fly right by.
All right, so here it is, the Geographic Center of Texas, or at least the public marker for the center. The actual point is somewhere on private property beyond these fences, but this is as close as us members of the public can get. So I know what you're thinking. I mean, Texas is so oddly shaped. How do you find the center of it? Well, you leave the hard work to the Texas Society of Professional Surveyors, but it's real easy what they did. I mean, they just took Texas, divided it into 4 co-equal parts, took those parts, measured circumference and radial distance into the points of the compass rose, took that compass, laid it on top of old Mayan star charts. With the early work of Aristotle and, of course, the Magna Carta, created a distance. I don't know what I'm talking about. I was just hoping maybe by standing close to the center of Texas, I would turn into George Strait or something. I don't feel any different. Do I look any different?
No, it's still you.
All right, back in the truck.
So metaphysically speaking, nothing happens at the heart of Texas, unfortunately. But tripperifically speaking, it's still a must-stop destination. Now, Brady is known for much more than just where it sits on the map. And actually, the best way to learn about its history is by going to jail. The old jail, which is now the Heart of Texas Museum.
Goodness. This is cool. You know, you go into some small town museums and it's just a whole bunch of collection of artifacts kind of jumbled up in rooms. Look at this. It's got cases. It's all really well laid out. Still very creepy, like a good small town museum, of course.
Why?
Old dresses. It's like, you got to realize this is all dead people's stuff. All right, look, here are 2 of the most prominent historic figures in town. We got McCulloch over here and we got Brady over there. They were both Texas Rangers, but when the Civil War came, Brady went to the Union side, McCulloch went to the Confederate side, so they never rode together again. Oh, now this is creepy. Can you see something in this bottle? That's the tip of someone's finger that got entered into evidence in 1944. Tip of a finger. All right, so like in all the old jails, the sheriff, his family, lived on the bottom floor, but all the prisoners were kept up top. Whoa, the cells. Whoa! That's a little stark, huh? Look, the hangman's noose right on top of the trap door.
This jail was built in 1910 and has 3 physical stories, but countless historic ones.
That's not a sound you want to hear in your life. Now we're getting into our solitary confinement cells. So there was a guy named David Myers who broke out of this jail 8 different times. He Shawshanked them 8 different times, including 3 times out of this cell right here. You gonna tell me how you get out of a solid steel cell? Through the toilet, that's how.
But now the old jail isn't the only historic building on site.
During World War II, there was actually a German POW camp right here in Brady, and this is the old guard shack. However, Brady's most significant contribution to the U.S. war effort was definitely training pilots.
This is the original control tower for Curtis Field, where over 10,000 pilots were trained to serve in World War II. And this entire building now stands as a tribute to the men and women who've served from McCulloch County, including the famous Aggie, James Earl Rudder. I tell you, there is some incredible history here. As lunch approaches, it's time to partake in another historic tradition that goes back about 50 years. Because you can't talk about Brady without talking smoked goat. Every Labor Day, Brady hosts the World Championship Barbecue Goat Cook-Off, where over 200 teams compete to be the big bad billy goat of town. Now, we are a few weeks late, but I know a place that smokes the good stuff year-round: Max Barbecue. Max is an institution in Brady, going back to the 1970s. Today, it's co-owned by a couple of Texas Tech college buddies, country music star Josh Abbott and the Webb brothers. This is Wes Webb, who's been eating at Max since he was a kid. Get it? A kid.
I tell everybody I was eating at Max since the day I was born, so anytime we come to town to visit my great-grandparents, this is the place we come and eat. My great-granddad used to actually buy and sell goats with Arlen Neckby, the original owner of Max. It's really cool to own something that meant a lot to my family.
Yeah, no kidding. You feel like sometimes you're cooking to impress great-grandpa looking down?
Oh, yeah.
He whispers in your ear about another hour, Wes.
Yeah.
Max smokes up all the Texas staples, brisket, ribs, but then adds in some country classics like burgers and chicken fried steak. I tell you, the good eating never stops.
Man, you could put a lot of meat in this thing.
Yes, sir.
You ever load this thing down?
We do usually around the goat cook-off every year, so Labor Day weekends.
Sure. Is this what I see right up here?
Yes, sir. That's goat right there.
Oh yeah, the filet mignon of Brady, Texas. Wes cooks goat on special occasion. It's locally raised, locally enjoyed.
How do you describe goat meat for someone who's never eaten it?
You probably know you're not eating beef, but it is a little gamey. So that's why we try to cut, a lot of the fat off of it before we cook it, and so kind of get rid of that gamey taste.
I've eaten some goat in my day. I can't wait to tear into this. This is gonna be good.
And after a pit room sample, it's time for a full platter.
All right, here we go. I think I got not just the 3-meat plate, the all-meat plate. Because I've got brisket, 2 kinds of sausage, ribs, and then the great special of Brady, smoked goat meat. I mean, if anywhere in the world knows how to smoke goat, it's the folks in Brady, Texas. Oh man, that's good. That is good. What I love about smoked goat, when it's cooked right, is it doesn't taste like beef, it doesn't taste like pork, it is completely its own thing. It's smoked goat. A little bit greasy, a little bit savory. It does all the right things in my mouth. That's all I'm saying. What's next? How about a little brisket? Ooh, got myself a little burn in right there. Oh yeah. That was a big bite. Stand by. This is the right kind of day tripping in the hill country. Am I right? I mean, barbecue, smoke, fire, meat. Doesn't get much better than this, y'all.
So I mentioned Josh Abbott, but he isn't the only country music singer with stuff in Brady. In fact, there are over 100 iconic country stars whose stuff has found its way to this town, specifically this museum.
Well, Chet, welcome to the Heart of Texas Country Music Museum in Brady, Texas. We have over 125 country music entertainers represented in our museum.
Mr. Wills right here, Bob Wills.
Yes. From the legendary figures to some of the new guys, and we're proud of each and every one.
This is incredible.
Stage-worn outfits, musical instruments, and all sorts of different things from different country music entertainers.
So cool.
This is Tracy Pitcox, museum director and founder. The collection he's amassed, along with the help of some generous donors, is astounding and could easily be in Nashville's Country Music Hall of Fame. There's Bob Wills' fiddle, George Strait's hat, Merle's silk shirt. The figures came out of a defunct wax museum in Nashville and definitely add a lifelike touch to this place. Who better to wear Charlie Pride's Cosby sweater than Charlie Pride?
Gosh, just every single case is catching my eye.
I guess my favorite room would be the Hank Thompson room.
Okay.
It's Hank Thompson, a member of the Country Music Hall of Fame. Had some great songs like Six Pack to Go and Wild Side of Life. His nudie suits and guitars, and as a matter of fact, that's his little record player that he played as a kid growing up in Waco, Texas.
Man, I'm digging those suits.
I think the purple one might just fit you.
You think? Oh, this is my first time to put on an actual nudie suit. Woo! How's that look, man?
Show me the arm length.
That's pretty good.
Oh, that's pretty good.
What you think, Charlie?
What?
Yeah, you think it looks good too? Oh yeah.
Man, that is a
You're not a hillbilly
long
till you
neck.
have a guitar.
Woo! Hank, we thank you for your donation.
Oh, horrible.
Probably should have tuned it before I did that.
I love the nudie suits. That era in country music was so special.
Yeah.
With the rhinestones, and they dressed up to go to work.
Yeah, big time dressed up. No, it's really cool when you've got the suit itself right next to a picture of them on stage wearing that suit. Man, do you ever come here at night and just open the cases, put the suits on, and walk around? You don't have to answer that on camera. It's okay.
Now, I'm not saying I would, but I totally would. These items are irreplaceable.
This actually is the final poster from Hank Williams' performance he was on the way to do January the 1st, whenever he passed away. And that particular poster, along with an unused ticket and a flyer for the show, was in Hank's mother's scrapbook.
That's priceless, really,
It is.
right?
Yeah, it's the last show that he never did a chance to do.
Wow.
Life on the road was dangerous. This wing is from the plane crash that killed Patsy Cline. And even though it may not have been safe, artists found a way to at least make it comfortable.
Oh, this is awesome. So Jim Reeves' tour bus, known as Big Blue, because his band was the Blue Boys. How appropriate is this? Blue Naugahyde, blue carpet, blue upholstery on the ceiling. I think we ought to change the way we get around Texas, Richie.
A little more comfortable, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Todd will drive. We'll just nap the whole way. What are you, more of a bottom bunk guy or a middle bunk guy? I think I'll take this one right here. Huh? Ow!
Tracy is the perfect steward for these artifacts because he's been so involved with country music his entire life. He's even a member of the Texas Country Music Hall of Fame, as he's been working at KNEL since he was just 15 years old.
Very honored to do that. I love country music, I love country radio, and it's my passion.
Yeah.
Come here and look around and see what we've created in Brady, Texas. And I have to say, it makes me kind of feel proud.
We now interrupt this programming to remind you to like and subscribe. Now back to the road.
Brady is a very intriguing city. At every turn, you'll find reasons to stop, like Everidge's store.
Ooh, free popcorn. Don't mind if I do. Can't be more than a day or two old.
Okay, all right.
Now, y'all know I don't usually go shopping at small town antique stores, but this one bears an exception. Because, well, it isn't just old, but also completely odd. Welcome to D&J's Good Old Days, Antiques and Oddities.
Man, I don't even quite know how to describe this place. It's a little bit like an antique shop, a little bit like D&J's Cabinet of Curiosities.
If you were looking for a place to buy some prosthetic eyes, a 12-foot alligator, and even a baby elope, well then this is your stop.
Whoa! I don't even know what I can say to describe this.
Wait, those are, what is that?
Baby parts.
Inside of a lady parts.
I remember that. Yeah.
Weird.
Here, pick one out. You get to take it home.
All right.
Reach in the candy jar.
What'd I get?
You got,
Oh.
You got some molars.
Well, then you have to see if it fits this guy.
D&J's is straight out of some Alfred Hitchcock meets Antique Roadshow bizarro land. And the only people odd enough to own it, Deanne, she's the D, and Joe, the J.
All right, so were y'all like witches as children? Or like, did y'all live in the Addams family house?
Not
Dropped on your
that.
head a few times?
Probably that. We just always loved antiques all our lives, even from 6 to 8 years old.
Really?
The stranger, the better. We didn't want something everybody else had.
Sure. Yeah.
First day we opened, we sold a quart jar full of human teeth. And that told us something. We didn't know there was a market out there for that kind of thing. And the longer we were open, the more weird things we were asked for. And we thought, hey, this is kind of fun looking for the strange things.
Okay.
One of the strangest parts, the taxidermy.
But you know, we think a house is not really a home without a dead animal in it. I mean, really.
Well, I can't say I ever thought of it that way. But this one here ain't for sale, because it was once their pet house bobcat. True story.
And they're more like dogs than they are cats.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was just the most wonderful thing. That's just like a house cat on steroids.
Where do you find the weird stuff? Like y'all digging through people's attics?
All
the
the above.
time. That's the fun part.
You got that itch and that crazy look in
Yeah.
your eyes. You like getting in the junk, getting dirty with it.
I love it.
From the look of it, Deanne's been climbing through more than just attics. Seems like basements too, and maybe even mausoleums.
Yeah, hear that folks are really dying to get into this shop, you know what I mean? What kind of hand you got? Oh, a bony one. Okay. I see. I don't know where to look. Antique overload in my brain. Willie dear. All right, here you go. To all the doors I've loved before. All right, that's enough. We're done. All right.
And now that we're on a creepy kick, well, I want to take y'all to a special place that's outside of town, where both the haunted and the historic mix. It's called the Soldier's Waterhole.
So this is actually a very historic pile of rocks, because back in the early days of the Texas frontier, I mean, we're talking 1850s, 1860s, these rocks would serve as an earthen fort for settlers and soldiers traveling a nearby military road. So they would make their camp here, drink water from the creek, and use these rocks as their only protection from the constant threat of Indian attacks.
It's a terrifying thought to have to hide in these cracks to avoid being killed. But on one fateful day, even these rocks weren't enough, when a group of Indians, likely Comanches, massacred a caravan of settlers consisting of 18 men, women, and children. It was one of the deadliest Indian massacres in Texas history.
And as some of the locals will tell you, down here in this creek bed, the massacre still happens on every moonlit night, or even in the stillness of a dry, hot afternoon.
People sometimes hear voices, screams even, and the distant thunder of the war drums. I just hear locusts. But no, wait.
Did you hear that? Sounded like something, can't tell where it's coming from. Like, did y'all hear that? Because that was definitely, y'all didn't say anything, did y'all? I don't know, man. Okay, that's the... Oh my gosh, that was so close. Did anybody else see that? That was...
What are you
Richie,
talking about?
did you?
Huh? It's hot out here. Can we go? I've got a really bad headache.
While we're outside of Brady, well, let's keep heading up the road to visit the even smaller town of Melvin, Texas. Today, cows outnumber humans out here, but both are getting well fed by the oldest and biggest operation in town, Jacoby's Feed and Seed. In a lot of ways, this store is Melvin. It's Melvin's mercantile, feed store, community center, and cafe. This is owner Jason Jacoby.
That's a good cold beer.
You know what? It's the coldest beer in Melvin.
I know why. That's the only beer in Melvin.
Well, it is, but
Best chicken fried steak in Melvin, best burger in Melvin.
Oh, yeah,
best-
yeah.
Man, this place is kind of a one of a kind. I mean, this is really. Is this all there is in Melvin?
There's not much more.
A water tower.
Oh, got one stop sign and stuff here at the front up here, but
You heard that right. One stop sign. Not even a stop light. But you don't have to live here to know that this is one of the best places on earth to stop in for some classic country cooking.
Woo! What do we have here?
we have fried onion rings and fried asparagus.
Fried asparagus.
Yes, sir.
Now that's the way to eat vegetables right there.
Oh yeah, that's the only way to eat a vegetable. You gotta have ranch dressing,
Oh yeah, it's Texas, right?
and that's homemade. Of course, everything's homemade around here.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Everything. Tell me about this. Feed and seed.
Correct.
And who you feeding? Us or cows or anything
We
you want
feed
to feed?
everybody.
Okay.
That's the thing.
The Jacoby family, and there's a lot of them, including Jason's wife Kelly and their new grandbaby, started off in the 80s buying and selling grain, but now they've grown to become one of the premier feed producers in the state. You want to raise big deer, goats, or cows? Well, this is your good stuff.
Is
Oh,
it
yeah.
easier
Oh,
to
no
feed
doubt.
humans or cows?
That's at least the human can tell us what they want, and so still easier to feed cows.
That's the honest answer, right?
But you know what the thing is? The cows that we feed, that's what we're having here.
This
All
is-
natural, no hormones, no antibiotics, so we know exactly what you're eating.
That is the country way,
Oh, yeah.
predating the craze of getting stuff done like that.
Oh,
That's,
yeah. Oh,
that's
yeah.
how country folk have been doing it forever.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Of course, their country specialty is beef. Jason recommended the sirloin, Kansas City style, which evidently means a lot of meat. Looks like it's steak night for me, boys.
This is how they feed people in Melvin. I might have over-ordered the steak.
Nah, you
This-
can do it.
It's sirloin served Kansas City style, so you got all different sorts of pieces that I'm gonna guess adds up to a good 4 or 5 pounds right here. All right, probably a little less, but I might need some help finishing that. Oh yeah. Sirloin, medium rare. Oh, that's good. Oh, it's got that like deep beefiness all the way through it. That's a good sirloin right there. Simple seasoning, cooked the right way.
Don't forget your vegetables.
Vegetables.
Todd,
Why are you standing on that chair? And why are you talking about vegetables in a time of meat like this? You insult me. We've been to a lot of places in Texas. Never have I run into a spot that feeds all their own cows, takes them, dry ages them, and then serves them in their restaurant. That's pretty special. And the proof is in the flavor. For sure, it works.
You know, there's nothing like the heart of Texas to bring you back to the simple joys of life. Like sitting down with good folks, enjoying a good country meal together, and listening to some good old-fashioned country music. Like appreciating our rich history and having a hoot and hollering good time doing it. And that, my friends, is the very heart of Texas to me. And of course, in Texas, a good meal always finishes with a good dessert.
And now the real grand finale, Grandma's homemade strawberry cake. So, I will see all y'all out on the road. Bye con Dios, amigos.
Howdy, y'all. Follow along with my adventures at Chet Tripper on Instagram and at The Day Tripper TV on Facebook and YouTube. Or head to thedaytripper.com for travel guides, past episodes, and info on our mobile app and Team Day Tripper. This episode was made for y'all with the help of our awesome partners. Check the caption for more info. Howdy y'all, Chet the Day Tripper here. Thanks so much for tripping with us. Remember, while you're here, like this video, subscribe to our channel so that we can stay out there on the road and keep on tripping. Did we miss anything in this town? Leave us a comment, let us know. We love finding out about new stops with all of your tips. And if you love Epic Texas Day Trips, remember to check our channel. We got a lot of them on there. Also, don't forget, if you want some sweet Day Tripper merch or another cool Texas-made product, come see us in Georgetown at the Day Tripper World Headquarters. You can also shop online if you check the link down there in the caption. All right, y'all. Bye con Dios, amigos.